you see my smile?
Today's Nacho Show, we're going to be talking about getting out of a relationship. One of the first topics, or one of the many topics that I told you that would have an open discussion available to any of you that would like to come onto the show and have a talk about. Today's guest that we have is Michael, which I know you guys are familiar with, the Ghetto Street show Mike but today it's just Mike O. And we're going to be talking about just open discussion about getting out of relationships and what are some signs of that you should actually take consideration of knowing that you need to get out of a relationship. So let's talk about getting out of a relationship, Michael.
What would you like to know?
How do you know when you actually should get out of a relationship?
One of the biggest things, I'm speaking from personal experience as well as just from things that I've seen in like friends, what they've gone through, things that, you know, family have gone through, and it's pretty much like the same thing that everybody pretty much has in common is whether or not you're happy. You know, you gotta ask yourself, like when you wake up in the morning, you see this person laying next to you, you know, are you happy with them? Are they contributing as much as you're contributing? Hell, are you contributing as much as they're contributing?
True.
You know, and if you don't even know if you're happy, I've noticed this when, you know, I go to the store or I'm going to work or whatever, and I come home, and depending on who I'm living with, I'll come home and it's like, do I want to sit in my car and just be like, take a little time out for me before I go inside? Or, you know, does it even matter? You know what I'm saying? Like, can I just get out of my car and just go inside with no problem? You know what I mean? That's one way of figuring out, like, with the person who you're with, you know, are you happy? Because if you're sitting in that car thinking, like, do I really want to go inside right now? You know what I mean? Then, you know, it's just little things that you can do to figure, you know, if you're just happy. But, I mean, usually that should be pretty easy.
And one of the things that, speaking from experience, is if you're in a relationship, one of the main things that you should actually pay attention to, if you guys are not growing as a couple, as a friendship, as a companionship, as partners, then, and you're like taking 2 steps forward, but you're taking like 10 back, wake up, because you're not going to get any further or farther into your relationship.
One thing I noticed when you are getting out of relationship is some people, it takes a while because it is a transition, you know what I mean? I've gone through this scenario before. One of my friends was actually currently going through it. Is you get into the relationship, you fall in love, you're pretty optimistic, you're thinking everything is going to go well, everything is going to be, you know, all hearts and flowers and everything, but a couple of years down the line, you realize, you know, things aren't as well as you thought they were going to be. You're not as happy as you planned, you know what I mean? Nothing is going according to your original plan, and, you know, now you want out, and you pretty much feel, or at least I did anyway, that I did everything I could have to, you know, make the relationship work. One of the things I do not recommend unless you are absolutely ready is moving together, staying together. You know, you don't know anyone until you've lived with them, and you can either find that out the hard way, and then, you know, later on, you know, you're finding yourself having to, you know, pay like $500 to break a lease, or, you know, doing whatever you need to do to pretty much get this person out of your system. You know what I mean? When you're living with them and you guys are broken up, it's pretty much hard to do. You know what I mean? You got to see this person, and if you guys are even staying in the same bed, one of my friends is actually going through this right now. You guys are broken up, you're staying in the same bed, you are very close to each other, but you're still far away. You can't touch them, you can't hold them like you used to. You know, now that you're broken up, everything has changed. You know, I don't know about anyone else. I don't know about you, I don't know about anyone else, but I don't really think that's pretty healthy. Nor do I think working with your ex or working with your boyfriend who you're not happy with and plan to break up with, I don't really think any of that is really healthy. You got to see anything that's going to have you see their face on a daily basis. I do not think is healthy. One of the things that's helped me once I got out of a relationship and got my happy back was out of sight, out of mind. You know what I mean? If I didn't have to see them, you know what I mean, I wasn't thinking about them as much. If I wasn't talking to them or texting them or any kind of communication to them, I wasn't thinking about them as much. All pictures I tore up. Anything that belonged to them, I gave back to them. So I can get my happy back. I can focus on my future and get everything that I needed to do done. You have relationships that, you have a normal relationship where you guys are having problems, but you also got, abusive relationships.
Yeah.
Which I know for a lot of people that can be hard to get out of. I, for one, I was. I'm not going to say I wasn't involved in an abusive relationship. A lot of people, I'm not going to say everybody, but you say abuse and they all ultimately think, physical abuse. Abuse is abuse.
Yeah.
It could be verbal abuse, it could be emotional abuse. Where this person is like pretty much messing with your emotions like all the time. Abuse is abuse. If you are in an abusive relationship, you need to get out that mug like quick, like now. The reason being is you need to do it for your own sanity, to keep your life. A lot of people have gotten hurt seriously, severely, behind an abusive relationship. Physical abuse, obviously, mental abuse, it, mess with their psyche. There's others who have been involved with emotional abuse, and now they're seeing shrinks on a daily basis. If not, weekly or monthly, however that goes. If you are in an abusive relationship, figure out a way to get out. If it is something that is too tough for you to run away from, like a physical abusive relationship, call the police. There's help all over the place. But you got to make a way just to get out. Know that person's schedule, and when the first opportunity you get, run. Get out of that relationship.
Yeah. And another thing, for those of us spiritual believers, if you ain't got God in your relationship, it ain't gonna work.
No, it's not going to. It's definitely not going to work. The more you pray, the more that your partner prays or whatever, the stronger you guys will be. It's Medea actually said it. She said, I remember one of her plays when she was talking about, or Tyler, whoever, when they're basically talking about like you're in a relationship, regardless if this doesn't even necessarily have to be an intimate relationship. It could be a friendship. That's a relationship, and you got to get out of that.
Very true.
It could be, you as, she was basically talking about in the play, like, well, hey, I don't like how you're doing this. Yeah. I don't like when you say this and this to me. I don't like when you're doing this and this about me. Can you do something about that? And then you wait over a good period of time, and they really didn't do anything. They didn't do a damn thing. They didn't change anything. That pretty much lets you know that, all right, I need to let you out of my life then. You are obviously not doing anything for me. You're not trying to change, and you're not trying to do anything for me. I need you out of my life now.
And you know what? And just be careful about the comedy, because sometimes people's purpose, their whole purpose of life, is to bring you down from getting your goal. Your light at the end of the tunnel, your whole purpose, or reaching what you are progressing with your life. Sometimes their whole purpose of life is to bring you down. Kick them off. I think that pretty much sums it up. Basically, getting out of a relationship. And number one thing, if you're not happy, get out of it. Because nothing is worth so much stress and losing sleep over. Get out of it.
You could either be happy or miserable.
Exactly.
I know it's simple.
And with that, thank you, Michael, so much for the open discussion about getting out of a relationship.
Anytime.
And if there is more elaboration that you would like to hear about getting out of a relationship, let me know. You have my email. I'll post it up again. Thank you guys so much for watching the Nacho Show. Thank you for our guest, Michael. And you guys have a wonderful and blessed day, and I'll see you next Wednesday.